If we were anything but artists, our job-seeking process would be very straightforward and very traditional. But we're artists, so we kind of have to provide samples. And how we track those samples is really interesting. It's not the way normal people track their job opportunity search. I want to talk to you about ways to do it and ways not to do it in this episode of the VOHeroes podcast. So when normal people go after a job, and by normal people, I'm talking about anybody who isn't an artist, an office worker or a customer service rep or a tech support person or a blue collar worker or a white collar worker, somebody who doesn't have to audition for something or provide a sample chapter for a book or an article, some sort of portfolio work. They don't have to do that. They go and they hook up with Indeed.com or Monster or who knows what job-seeking sites they're on. And when they put their resumes and their applications in, it's kind of expected that they will track those things and see if they get responses and so on. With us, it's different. It has to be different. And if you're treating it like that traditional way of going after a job, you could be giving yourself a whole bunch of work that you don't need. What brought this all up was I saw a post in one of the audiobook narration Facebook groups that I'm a member of where somebody says, "So how do you guys track your auditions? I have a whole bunch of auditions out and I'm trying to stay on top of it all and it's really hard to do." Yeah, don't worry about it. If somebody wants you and you've auditioned for something that they have a role that they're trying to fill and you're the right person for it, believe me, they will find you. You're the solution to their problem. You don't need to follow up. You don't need to stay in touch. You don't need to circle back. You don't need to do any of those things. And you certainly don't need to have some sort of spreadsheet type maneuver where you're watching all of your auditions and you're seeing if they've been responded to and you have some sort of notion as to where they are in their process. Now, you could be spending that time and should be spending that time doing more auditions or maybe working, but not hovering like a helicopter parent over the offers that you put out into the universe to help somebody solve their casting problem. You don't need to do that. In fact, you shouldn't do that. It is a recipe for heartbreak because now you start looking at those numbers and you see just how many jobs you're not getting, and it can weigh on your head. It can weigh on your mindset. So don't do that. That's my admonition. It's not even maybe you don't want to do that. I'm telling you, please don't do that. Once you do an audition, let it go. Submit it. Move on to something else. Go get a latte, talk with a friend, do another audition, work on your office hours, work on your website, work on your tech layout, whatever it is that you're doing, other than worrying about what comes next with that audition. It's going to be a very easy thing for you to reacquaint yourself with whatever it was that caused you to audition for that project in the first place, should they get in touch. If they want a callback or a pin or an on hold, or they want to book you, believe me, you'll figure it out, and you don't need to stay on top of all these things. So when you think to yourself, oh, I have a whole bunch of auditions out, what do I need to do about this? How do I need to manage this? The answer is you don't. Now, how many of you are, if you're watching this and you're doing some version of following up or tracking the auditions that you have, tell me about that in the comments below and tell me if that's been satisfying at all. I'd love to know the other side to this. I just know that this, what I'm trying to ask you to consider and do works. And it gives you so much more power. It gives you more options. It gives you more opportunities. Let's see what happens here. Give me a note in the comment below. Let me know what happens. Hit the like button if you like what you're hearing, the subscribe button if you want to subscribe to the channel, the notification bell if you want to be told when new episodes come out. I'd love to have you. Forward this to an actor who you see is really grinding on tracking the auditions they have out, share this with them. Just copy the link above and send it off to them. I'm David H. Lawrence the 17th. I thank you so much for watching and for listening, and I will see you in the next episode of the VOHeroes podcast.